I love those photos.
You guys get some deep diving with those photos, man. That's funny.
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, Sean, we get to do our introduction. Who are you?
He's got himself on mute. There he is.
I'm like super lagging right now. I might have to switch computers.
Yeah. Hey, Karma,
Like,
how
I hear
are
you
you
guys
doing, my
talking,
dear?
but like,
Sean, you're really lagging, man.
Yeah, it's way different than it was before.
You done wrong, Aaron. Take your ass down to O'Shea Hennessy's office right now. Hey, Karma, how are you doing, my dear? That's our psychic friend from England.
Oh, awesome. What's up, Karma?
Yeah, she's
you guys
awesome.
are going to have to talk for a minute. I'm going to go switch computers.
Go for it.
I mean, we've already been talking for like half an hour.
Our host, Sean Bowman, is currently having some issues, so I am the co-host, Phil K., also known as Phil Bundy, now, apparently.
That was too funny, man.
Oh, man. Ray, why don't you introduce the community to you, everybody and all that stuff,
Well, if you saw in the pictures, my name's Ray Goosby, a.k.a. the Gooz. There's a lot of people in the paranormal field that don't even know my real name at this point. Matter of fact, I think Denise said, people have called me Ray in front of her, and she's like, who the hell are you talking about? And if you don't know who Denise is, she's on our show, The Cryptic Paranormal Show, which is my podcast or live stream. It's not technically a podcast because we don't record it and put it out in that kind of form. But, well, we're every Thursday night, and there's something weird coming up on my screen now. Hold on a second.
Oh, uh-oh. This is what happens when I try to host.
Right. It's weird because it's like some old stuff from my old job, like programs that I don't even use anymore. But yeah, I've been investigating for God, I don't know how old. I always have to go by how old my daughter is.
Yeah.
She's 15. I started about a year before she was born, so about 16 years. That's just active investigating. Actual research. I've been researching the paranormal and reading about it since I was probably 12 years old. Kind of the cliche thing. I grew up in a house. It was extremely active. Nothing like really horrible, just enough to scare me as a child and scare my brother. He went through the same thing with me. There were nights where I'd wake up and I'd find him sleeping under my bed for protection. And more times than not, that would scare me more than the actual activity because I'd get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and there's my brother's head hanging out from underneath my bed. It's like, holy shit, man. What the But yeah, it was a pretty active house. It was just kind of it was a weird kind of, it was a very unassuming house. If you just look at it, as your standard like 70s style cookie cutter housing development ranch house. The only difference is we had a really kick-ass family room on the back end. But, it was a while before I found out that the previous owners, their two teenage kids were killed in a car accident.
Oh.
And the one time I actually saw like physical entities was two shadows over me. Like I woke up in the middle of the night with a horrible headache. Like I felt oppression on my chest and there was just these two shadows. And I slept right across from the bathroom, and because we were kids, we always had the bathroom light on because the night light, and I could just see these two shadows hanging over me. And from that point on, it was like, I was scared, but somewhere deep down, I knew it wasn't something that was mean or aggressive because the way they were just standing there, just kind of looking at me. I didn't see any physical, like facial expressions. They were just two shadows, like kind of observing me. And, at that time, my parents and my whole family were involved in, some crazy Christian church that were like against everything non-secular. and we couldn't even play with Transformers as a kid. They preached that they were these demonic robots. They could talk, and obviously that was Satan. But anyways,
I'm here.
He's here.
Hey.
Whoop, whoop. I didn't kill the intro or anything. Thank God. So
you want to do the intro? I can tell the whole story over again.
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, heck.
Nah, that's all right. Like Phil was saying, I got this new computer and I'm trying to figure out how it works and everything. And
Sean, it looks a lot better where you're at right now. Like a lot.
This is
better.
a Mac, so the camera's a lot better on this computer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't butcher the beginning too much, so hopefully,
I don't know what you guys were talking about because
yeah, I just said introduce yourself to the community. Who are you? How did we meet, by the way, Goose? How'd you end up meeting us?
I started following you guys on Facebook, and then we had you guys on the show on the Cryptic Paranormal Show. We had a freaking blast.
Oh, it was amazing.
And then it was the first time I guys met you face to face was at Parapsychon last summer, and I wanted to hang out with you guys more and hang out and have a good time, but those things are so crazy. There's so much to see, and if you're running your own table, you gotta keep checking back. And you guys have a big group. You had your whole team there. It was awesome. You guys had 15, 20 people there. No, I'm just kidding. It was just the three of us because I work with. We have a group called Dark Alley Paranormal. That's our paranormal team, but they don't really get into the whole conference stuff. We just go, we do our thing, and then the thing I like to promote most is our show. That's what we have the fun with. That's what we work on the most. And Denise is part of the team, and obviously Mike Heisenberg is part of the team. But yeah, we were there, but we couldn't get away because there's only two of us at the table each day. Yeah. So we were lucky to just even get out and have a smoke break. For God's sake, it was crazy. I don't even think I ate lunch either day. But
oh, dude, those Parapsychons are fun, man. Actually, you were I think you were a few tables to the right of where we were
only we were only 2 or 3 tables away from each other. So I kept seeing you guys and walking by, and ran into you guys in the hallway, and always make some kind of smart ass comment on my way out the door to one of you. Grabbing Bumpy's ass if I could on the way out the door. Yeah.
Shh, don't give away the secret here. Shh. Anywho, that's cool though, man. How did you end up beating the what's her name? The other girl that's part of your team. You just said her name. Thank you. I don't know why.
Oh, Denise. Well, when Adam Kimmel purchased Madison Seminary, I met her pretty soon after that. It wasn't much more than a year after he purchased, because she started volunteering there, and we friended each other on Facebook, and then for some reason, when I'd go and volunteer with flashlight tours or ghost hunts or whatever, we always ended up pairing up with each other just because we kind of fed off of each other really well. We just, it was when we first met, it's we knew each other forever. You know how that is when you meet somebody for the first time.
Yep.
I feel like I've been friends with you guys forever. And
absolutely.
We got along, and she got along with Heisenberg, and nobody gets along with Heisenberg. I'm just kidding. He's not here to defend himself, but we just kind of all really kind of clicked. And Heisenberg and I, from our Dark Alley group, we're kind of the ones that kind of get out the most. And our group is our group, but everyone in our group is free to go with other groups if they want to adventure somewhere else every once in a while, or just everybody can do their own thing, because we don't play that kind of drama political thing in our group. Yeah. So, we started doing the show. Well, I started the show, actually. I was a guest on this show 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the guy, his name was Steve Cross. He's like, dude, that was so much fun. He's like, do you want to be a co-host on the show? And he talked to Laura, who was on the show at the time. She's like, yeah, absolutely. You got to be on the show. So I got on the show, and then, they each came up with their own family things that they had to leave the show. And they just you keep it and you keep running it, keep it running. Because we were actually on an internet radio station for a while before we started with RU Media. And the radio station it was just getting too expensive. We had to pay rent every month for it. Once COVID hit, they weren't cleaning it or sanitizing it or anything. It was just I'm digging this from home thing. I don't have to leave the house. We could still hang out and chill and do the same thing we do here and not pay $40 a month. So Denise, after meeting Denise at Madison, we kind of worked her on the show. We had her on a couple of times with some of the other Mad crew, and she just like she knew how to be like on screen. She knew how to do this thing. It just came natural. So like, just be on the show.
Yeah,
and it was COVID, so she wasn't working too much, and she just which is not the case now. She's kicking ass out in there in realtor land, and
that's awesome.
But we're still grooving. But yeah, that's how I met Denise. Heisenberg is a different story. No, Heisenberg was actually really good friends with my wife. She knew him way before she met me. They had worked together for a long time, and they were good friends. And when I started dating her, I eventually got to meet him, and him and I were like this. So like, my wife, picks on me all the time. She's like, "You stole Heisenberg from me." Like, no, you guys could go and do whatever you want, hang out anytime you want. I know you guys are all-time friends, but I just got to know him, and he found out that I was into ghost hunting. And he's like, "Oh, dude, I always wanted to try that."
Yeah.
And he went out with me. I think his first shot was with me at Madison, and yeah, it was just that was it, man. We became close friends. He's been one of my closest friends since.
So is his name from Breaking Bad? Is that why he's called Heisenberg? Or
there is a funny story, again, going back to Madison Seminary when Adam first purchased it. It was so funny. Okay, we could tell this now. We can tell the story now because it's over with and there's nothing they can do about it. But when he first bought the location, it was still kind of they gave it this to him in the horrible conditions. So there were some things, some safety things that he wasn't technically allowed to be doing having any business going on there. But we were still having, because he needed the money flow to get these things fixed. We were still allowing people to come in and do ghost hunts and stuff like that. But we all had to be like posted around, and we had this grand plan of if somebody came to check out what was going on, we were inside cleaning, and we had people park out in the backfield. It was like this whole military campaign we were pulling off here.
Yeah.
But I mean, Heisenberg's one of those guys, when he volunteers, he's up for whatever. So basically the story was there was an abatement going on of black mold in the basement, because there was black mold in the basement at the time and we weren't letting anybody down there. But he put on a full hazmat suit looking like Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. He had the whole mask on and everything. His job was basically he pulled in the back lot in his truck, just sat there and guided people in. But he sat there all night in the whole suit, the whole night, just like a trooper. So Adam started calling him Heisenberg, and it just kind of stuck.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing. That is so amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Isn't it crazy, how people get their nicknames from different, locations and all that stuff? It's just obviously with the Gooz, it's last name Goosby kind of thing. Before I even knew what your last name was, I'm like, why the hell do they call him the Gooz? Oh yeah.
That is another story in of itself. When I first started on Facebook, my first group, our whole purpose, and this is why I'm not with them anymore, was to disprove what everybody was considering to be paranormal evidence. Which I'm like, okay, this is a good group to get me into to learn stuff, but I didn't realize how strict this dude was that ran the group. He wouldn't let us bring in different kinds of unapproved equipment, spirit boxes weren't allowed and stuff like that. And he would literally say, "You don't bring that, or you just sit this one out." I'm like, it was just that kind of crap.
No, that's weird.
And I wasn't into that after a while. And there was some drama. It was some drama with some other people in the group, and we left. But I started on Facebook, seeing how people like him, talking about themselves, how they were just these amazing professional ghost scientists, you know what I mean? Paranormal scientists. And it was these people are so full of themselves. I can't stand it. And you guys know how I am. I'm just
absolutely
goof off.
Yeah.
I'm the paranormal goofball.
Well, I'm kind of surprised at all the egos and
and
drama and everything else. Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. And it's some and with all the abundance of shows coming on and people making, videos and stuff, there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm not saying that everything out is crap and everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
But when I first started with Facebook and seeing these egos and people talking about themselves and how great they are and putting down other people, I just jokingly started calling myself the Gooz and typing everything in third person, I wasn't one of those egotistical,
like The Rock or something.
Myself. Yeah, basically. Okay, paranormal fact 301, the Gooz says, And then it was some stupid ass shit that I just write down to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. And it just stuck. And then when I met Kimmel, he didn't know me anything by the time I met most of these people I'm friends with now face to face, they didn't even know who Ray Goosby was. They just knew who the Gooz was. So it stuck. And it's
it's like it's like whenever I was a part of Oakmont Paranormal, like 7 or 8 years ago, I just stepped back just because I just had so much other thing going on. But now, we obviously got to volunteer with them at the Carnegie Library of Homestead, and they're like family to us. I mean, especially meeting you and the other two teammates. It's like, and that's how it should be. I don't want. I'm not the biggest fan of competition at all. I can't stand it because to me, it's like if we're all after the same thing, why can't we just work together? To me, things are much better as a family than
Exactly. If you can't have fun doing what you love to do, then why are you doing it? I mean,
well, I messaged you earlier to send me over a video because I love this video, and we got to recreate something like this. I'm going to share it right now.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Is this real?
Yeah, we made it.
Oh.
Yeah, me and Marcus Hogg and a couple other people.
Sword, a spiritual sword. I will battle you to the end. God, shit. Oh my God. Creepy ass. Dude, run. Run. Oh. Hello. My name is Ray Goosby. Tonight, I am taking you on a spiritual journey. So sit back, put on the seatbelt, and get ready for a ride. Tonight, I'm ghosting with the Gooz. So it's very, very important when you're investigating to make sure you have all the tools of the trade.
We got to have Luther
As you can see
and the
here,
Gooz go together.
Just all kinds of tools. All kinds of EMF detectors. EBI, we have the ground pod, we have the millimeter. I have EVP recorders ready to go. We have this that picks up static energy. Geophones that picks up vibration. So to start off, we're going to do an EVP session. If you're not familiar with what an EVP is, it's electronic voice phenomenon. Very simply, you take a digital recording device, we ask questions of the spirits around us, and hopefully they give us a response. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me how old you are? Are you a woman or a man? Can you tell me your name? Don't worry about it. Oh my God. Can you tell me how old you are? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you a woman or a man? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Marcus was a trooper. I swear to God, that's him.
Mark's a nut too. He's crazy.
He keeps walking the wall. It's so funny.
Oh my God.
Oh, what the hell? We're going to do some live investigating. This is where we go find them. So we're going to start walking around the house and calling them out to us. Did you guys hear that knocking? What is going on? All right, this activity is getting off the charts here, folks. Can you do that again, please? This beautiful historic building. We're going to head upstairs now. Oh my gosh, phantom footsteps. I get a little bit of a headache, a little anxiety here from this house. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? If you're here with us, please make a noise. Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh God, creepy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Creepy ass. Dude, run! Oh my God. Shit. Sometimes you find yourself in the middle of a spiritual warfare. Jesus Christ. Oh, crap. Something was just thrown at my feet. I felt it hit, and I heard it roll. Show yourself right now. I have a sword. Jesus Christ. I have a sword, a spiritual sword. I will battle you to the end. Where are you? Show yourself. Oh, my God. Holy crap. A brick was just thrown completely across the room. Sometimes when you're fighting evil, you just need to know when to give up and get the hell out of town.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, we definitely
That is what I do.
we got to make another one of those with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We actually, I was talking to Marcus. I'm like, dude, Ghosting with the Gooz 2.0 has to come out. And I'm like, I keep saying, yeah. And I'm like, I know exactly where it's going to be too. And I wink.
And see, that's the cool thing about this type of stuff. You can have fun, so much fun with it, man. Oh my God.
And see, and people like, well, there were some people obviously that saw it like, oh, why are you picking on us? I'm like, dude, I'm picking on myself. We do the same shit.
Christ on
we take flack for acting stupid sometimes, but whatever. Yeah, like, I mean, we're here to have fun too. It's not just about like trying to impress everybody else. We're gonna do what we want to do, you know.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I just tell everybody, if you can't have fun with it, then you can't take this so seriously, because we make so many mistakes. We don't think about some of the crazy shit and stupid shit that we do.
Yeah,
you know, like I had all that equipment going off. Literally, I just had a walkie-talkie in my hand underneath the table, and I pushed the button, and everything was going off.
Yeah, I know the REM pods definitely go off in the walkie-talkie. Yeah, we've had that issue before.
Yeah, it was so funny because like Todd's like got himself under the table with his vape pen. He was blowing
I thought you had like a fog machine or something.
Yeah, no, he had a vape pen. He just kept blowing like ectoplasm up from. That's awesome. Yeah. So man. Sean Gilmore and Marcus actually is the one who actually edited the video. He played the ghost in the thing. It was just hilarious. It was so much fun.
Yeah, me and Jen were just with Marcus on Friday for Greenville's charity thing. We went out there, and then December 3rd, we're going to be out there for an investigation again.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah. How was that, Sean?
The charity thing was cool. It was fun. They raised like $2,000.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Okay, all right, you know.
That question right here that's actually from Mikey right here.
Proven actual cryptid. I never got into it because I have no clue. I don't know what the hell I'm doing either, man. But, I mean, that's kind of the point. I don't know. I really don't know what the hell I'd do if I like ran into a full-fledged like ghost that wanted to talk to me.
Yeah,
like let's sit down and have a conversation. I don't know what I'd do. I'm sure I'd probably shit my pants and be like, oh fuck, excuse my language, but you know, I don't know. But no, I'm not heavily involved with. It's kind of like right now I'm right where I am, where I started ghost hunting stuff. I read a lot of books, I watch videos, I get a lot of people's opinions on things, just kind of formulate how I want to do it. I got a guy here locally. I got my friend Todd who's starting to get into it. Todd Shalat. I got a guy who's really heavy into it that lives right down the street from me. But it's just a matter of time, and we're gonna get together, and I think we're gonna do a kind of a we're in plans on doing like a mysteries of the road type of show about things in Ohio.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're gonna hit different cryptids and UFO stories and do our, you know, we're gonna play in our wheelhouse a little bit with the ghost hunting. So
yeah, I'd like to get involved with some cryptid stuff. I've never really done anything either, but
yeah,
I've had a couple people talk about it.
Yeah, it's been like getting like the last 2 years, especially with like not being able to ghost hunt as much because of COVID shit happening and just like health, trying to get my health in check because you know, you want to get out and do like field work, you got to be in good shape.
Yeah.
It is not easy to traipse around the woods for hours upon hours. Like I used to do that when I used to go hunting. I tried hunting like 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought I was going to die on my way back. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't see anything or kill anything. So I don't know how I'd get myself back alone yet with an animal in tow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's just like a lot of things I need to check off before I get active with that, but I'm feeling better. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm going to continue to do that. You know, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm want to get out in the field and get into it.
That's good.
Definitely, man. And Karma actually asked if you've been to any abandoned or places and do raw sessions, if you've done any of that.
I'm not sure exactly what she means by raw sessions. I haven't. I mean, it depends on what you mean by abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. I've been in places that are almost like completely destroyed, but I had the proper okay to be there. I had permission to be on. I'm not an urbex guy. I don't just break into places and do that kind of thing. But I mean, I've been to places that a lot of people haven't been, like the House of Wolves in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's way more popular than it was when I started ghost hunting there. And it was more kind of an urbex thing. As Eric
did you have anything happen there? Because we didn't really have a lot happen in House of Wolves.
Dude, I swear, we were getting lost because we were following things. We would hear a voice, like seriously, we'd hear a voice drawing us to an area, and we get there, and there would be nobody there. And then we got into the bowels of the house. I had no idea where the hell we were, and like almost like had a hard time getting out because we were down in. There's like the basement, and then there's a sub basement, and then you go up this way, and there's like another room over here. It's like if you made the real life Scooby-Doo mansion house, like where they're just running all over the place, and they always end up somewhere different every door they go in. That's what the House of Wolves is. So a lot of misdirection. I heard ladies screaming all the time, and like somebody would always run outside to make sure it wasn't something going on East 55th. It's not I mean, literally, we're packing our ghost hunting equipment and our sidearms at the same time.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that place is the location of Cleveland where that place is at.
Yeah. We had a bigger group there, and our team psychic at the time, Barb St. John, she brought like her cell phone with just a Bluetooth speaker, and she started playing like Motown music, and we did a table tipping session.
Okay.
The thing almost flipped over. We had it bouncing so crazy. We were down in like the little kids where like the kids would do their little concert area down. There's like down in the basement area. It was like a little stage, which is also like the boiler room now. So it's like, it looked like a stage with a boiler on it. It just is a weird area. But, we had playing, and like this table was just jiving, man. And we're singing along with the music the best we can. There's only like Daniel Klaus was there. So that night. So, I mean, he was a part of that too. And the Santoris, you guys have met the Santoris. They were there. I mean, it was a good group of people. And immediately after, I had to like walk out and like ground myself because I was feeling like I was going to pass out after that whole thing. The energy just took a weird shift.
We've only done table tipping once. We did it at Pickle Jar though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it translated to camera very well because I mean we did it live, but like I was one of the people on the table, and you definitely felt like something was moving it.
Yeah. I actually thought it looked better with like not me recording it because like my eyes were able to focus in more, and but it could. I mean, it was cool. It was really cool. Never see something like that before, but it could have been easily manipulated. Who knows? But
we were supposed to do it at Bel Air too because they had a folding table like upstairs in the one closet, but we didn't end up getting to it.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that.
We were supposed to do that alone time thing too. We never end up doing that either.
Dude, Bel Air, like when I was there, like I've only been there the one time. It was like a month ago, and literally I got there and the guy told like I thought it was going to be like crazy active, like I've never experienced before. Because I literally was feeling the vibes before I even left my house. I got lost in my own town trying to get back on the freeway to get out of here. Like I was just my mind was in different places. I was taking lefts when I'm like, I'm in my own town. How am I getting lost? Hey, what's up? Go. Love you, buddy.
I love Sage said Phil is not allowed to have nachos before an investigation again. Oh yeah. No, funny story. What he just said. We went to Darmine to investigate the night, and my stomach was a wreck. It wasn't hurting. I just had to really go.
Yeah, it was me, Phil, Sage, and my daughter.
And I'm being not talkative at all. I'm trying to focus my energy on not having to like make an early exit, which eventually we had to kind of cut out early because of my stomach.
Yeah. Have you been to Darmine before?
No.
Because it's kind of like out in the middle of nowhere. And I drove, so it was like...
Okay.
It's in like Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But Phil didn't drive, so there was nowhere for him to go to the bathroom. So like we all had to leave. So we had to cut it kind of early because he had to go to the bathroom. And then we get to the bathroom. The men's room's like disgusting or something. What the heck was wrong? Something was wrong with the men's room. because you ended up going in the women's room, and I like guarded the door, and this girl came in, she got all bitchy with me, and I was like, well, he's in there, you got to wait, you know?
Yeah, I thought he was joking around with me. I was like, sure. Then I go out, there's a chick chilling. I'm like, this just got awkward.
Oh shit.
Karma, I love Karma's comment.
Who's she talking to?
She said, "Oops, sorry, wrong window." Karma, that's really funny. We're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was looking at that too. Like, what is she talking about?
That is the funniest thing ever, Karma. That made my night. Oh man, awkward. And then that was Sage. He's not wrong.
How long were you at Bel Air? Were you only there for one night, or were you there for a weekend?
No, we only went for the one night, and it was just a weird, like 2 or 3 people ended up canceling on us, so we were like struggling to find somebody else because we didn't want one of our group. She paid for the whole thing, for the whole night, so like it came out of her pocket, and then these people decided to leave. But I'm like, next time you got to get everybody's money before. Yeah. And just they have to understand as part of the team, if you don't go, the money stays with the team and the location. Mm-hmm. Anyways, like Eisenberg was supposed to be there. He ended up throwing out his back. So his wife, Kate, came and she hurt her knee like on the way up the hill. So she was hobbling around the rest of the night. Mm-hmm. It was just a weird situation. We were only there the night, and it was me and like the 3 of our teammates were the only ones that ended up showing up. So it was only 4 of us total. So it just felt weird because we ended up like just chilling and talking most of the night. It's like
you got to do like a full weekend there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I swear the first night like isn't active there. The second night's when it usually gets crazy.
Well, it's like and it's like weird because I'm like after we left, I like had all these amazing ideas that we could have done, like during the investigation. Because there's a whole bunch of history that we learned that I wasn't aware of before going in.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what it was. And he even warned us. He's like, dude, it's going to be one of 2 extremes. It's going to be crazy as hell, or you're going to be sitting around forgetting to ghost hunt because it's so comfortable.
Right.
And the second one was what happened to us. And I knew they were going to all leave, probably want to leave around like midnight, 1 o'clock, because they all had to be back. And I technically had to be back too. But I was going to like try to like stick it out for at least a couple hours after they left. But it's like the energy shifted so hard the minute we started packing up. And I went upstairs to turn some lights off. And I'm like, I did not feel well at all. I'm like, you know what? I can't be here by myself. It's not safe.
Yeah.
I just, I know when something is not safe. But yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny how you mention that too, because whenever we were there for the second night, they wanted to do an experiment, which I was like, I'm just going to go downstairs. I'll let you guys have fun with that.
Yeah. Well, we did it both nights. We did it actually 3 different times. We did it upstairs in the attic twice and then once in the basement. But we did add like mirrors and that. We were trying to make a portal and stuff too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, I want to walk away. Have fun, guys. That's not me. I'm good with that.
It's a little much for me. I just if they're there, cool. I don't want to bring any more in that we need
exactly.
To.
Me and Mikey are a little bit more ballsy in the group.
They're a little bit more extreme. Yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna step away. Have fun.
I'm like, I can get extreme in the fact that I'm not afraid to put myself in like a solo situation as long as I know somebody's at least 2 or 3 floors under me,
right?
And can come, if I hurt myself or something. But I'm the guy that I'll lay on if I can fit in it, I'll lay on the morgue tray and you can push me in for, and I could do 20 minutes or whatever like that. But, and I used to walk around the House of Wolves by myself for hours on end by myself at night, before when I first started there, because Eric and I I helped him out, him and Patty out with like some of the groups that used to come in there. But, but as far as like inviting shit in, like that doesn't belong there or whatever.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm like afraid to use a Ouija board, because I don't think that invites shit in unless your intentions are there to invite shit in.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I really believe in Ouija boards. I mean, we used them once at Monroe, and I kind of think that's part of it. Is like I was one of the people using it, and since I was one of the people using it, I think that's kind of the reason why it didn't work. Like it has to be somebody who believes. Like I could ask the questions, but it has to be the people using it.
Right. And Karma actually asked if there was any place around the world that either three of us would like to investigate, what would it be and why?
I mean, if I had like money's no option,
and
traveling was not expensive, I would go overseas. I'd be hitting like anywhere I was like my family was from, Ireland, Scotland, England, like hitting the hot spots. I don't even care. Give me one castle and point me in the direction. But yeah, I would love to do like a medieval castle, like from Ireland or England or Scotland or something like that. Cool. I mean, I know the names of quite a few, like a Hellfire Club. Take me there.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
just a name.
But yeah, anywhere over there.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, bye, Karma. Thank you so much, dear.
I mean, I always say Winchester Mystery House. That's one of the places on my bucket list for sure.
Paris Catacombs for me.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's plus Kilkenny Castle. Ooh, that sounds actually good.
There you go.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's actually funny, like how Sean mentioned earlier about the whole Ouija board thing. Like, I don't care to use one, but I think they were so cool looking, man. I actually slept with a Ouija board blanket on at his camper, and I felt like a badass. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool.
Nice. If you toss and turn the wrong way, though, you may be waking up with an extra attachment.
See, what he doesn't know is when he was sleeping, we were intentionally summoning shit.
Right. So he said I might be going. Oh, Leap Castle. That was the one. That was definitely one of the top.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I hope you can do that.
Funny thing is, like years ago, I was part of some like travel club, and I got invited to go to Transylvania. I obviously couldn't afford to do it, but
right,
that'd have been super fucking cool.
Yeah, I was watching. We've had James Anito on. He's a demonologist.
Yeah,
and one of the few. Besides, like Carl Johnson, who's actually the guy he works with closely, that I like would trust as far as the whole demonology thing is. There's demonologies seem to be dropping like every day. Oh, I'm a demonologist. Well,
you can just go online and like get
or
whatever.
Yeah. Oh, but anyways, he's one of those guys, and he just was like photo documenting his trip to Romania, and it looked freaking amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Sleepy Hollow with us. I didn't really talk to him or anything, but I know he is.
He's a super cool guy. Like, I didn't know what to think of him because all his pictures, he had his collar on and everything. Holy Christ! But no, he's totally not like that. I met him at Potographs for Pooch's event last year, and we're gonna be doing that again this year. So he should be out there. But yeah, I watched his pictures coming in from Romania. I'm like, man. I love Ohio and in the surrounding areas, but I got to get out of the United States. Just once in my life, just like one bucket trip somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like going back to like the whole drama thing in the paranormal field is like I've heard opinions about people, but until I actually meet the person, like I don't want to go off what they're saying,
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a good way of putting it too, because like you can like somebody so much, but then it's like, I don't know why you talk to them. Well, they're nice to me, that's why. I mean, it's just
right.
Unless you're out to really destroy me in whatever way, shape, or form, then I think we're cool until shit hits the fan. But
right,
it's always going to give the benefit of the doubt to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of like interest field you're in. If you play Pokemon for your fun, there's going to be assholes in that group.
100%.
It's a human condition. It doesn't matter what you're into.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hear the same thing. Like I had a bunch of friends that I started off with in ghost hunting that left because of the egos and people dogging them on their research and everything, and they left and got into a different field in the paranormal world. They're like, okay, I have a love of UFOlogy, so I'm going to get into that, and then 2 months later, I'm going to get out of this and get into cryptozoology. Just like you're not going to be able to leave it.
Exactly.
You're not going to go to a different group and not get hate. Whatever. I can go on and on about it.
But. Well, I mean, I think you got to have a thick skin too, because especially like once you get a little bit of a following, like I know, like on our TikTok, we'll get a lot of trolls talking shit and stuff that.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll try to just not say anything, but Jen likes to run her mouth, so Jen will like make a specific video about that person talking shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much. It's pretty much something. It's got to hit me hardcore, like And most of the time, if I respond to somebody, it's because they're on somebody else's that I care about on their shit. Trolling them. I mean, You could troll me, but if you like start picking on my friends and family, if it's worth a fight, I'll get into it. But mostly, even fights that I have chosen that can seem to like never end.
Yeah,
there is a breaking point for me there too. There, I'm just like, I'm done with all of it. You guys just fight your fight. I'm out of it. You guys know whose side I'm on. I'm staying on that side. I don't need to be in the middle of this drama that you got going on.
Exactly. And I look at it this way too. Like there's even been moments where like, even my friends will kind of, get into it with somebody. But I'm like, you know what? My friends are mature. They're adults. They know how to handle this. I'm just going to step back because I don't want to add more kerosene to an already lit fire.
Phil sees me and Jen get into it all the time.
Oh,
like he usually rides with us, so we're always bitching at each other.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like I'm like I love these two to death. I've been friends with them for quite a while, and it's like I'll be in the back like drinking my drink like. But you know what? That's just because
awkward
personality clashes. We're human. That's just our instinct is to go back and forth. That's just
being in the car for 5 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the one thing. Like in my group, like Dark Alley, I could say that we never even really have that going on. Usually, if we fight, it's about like, okay, somebody needs to make a decision on what we're doing next.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't do it so often. Like when we do get to go ghost hunting, it seems like there's been months in between, and we spend at least half the time just catching up with each other.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Just like it tends to be more of a hangout, but
yeah,
it is what it is. We just don't get into it. I don't know. It's not worth it to us. We want to have fun.
Yep.
We don't want to. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just like, how often do you end up, talking paranormal with certain people? I mean, if it wasn't for being a part of something like this, I'd have a boring life, honestly.
Yeah. And it's so weird because if somebody not in the field like starts asking you questions, I clam up like real quick. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's like scary. I don't know.
It's crazy how many people though, like if they find out like you're into the paranormal, then they'll just start like telling you stories and everything.
Oh
yeah.
Like,
you'd think like some people like think you're crazy, but other people just start like telling you everything that's ever happened to them.
We were going to Shalersville Historical Society, and I was there's a Dollar General that literally had just been built like and opened up a couple months before, and she saw my Dark Alley shirt. She's like, "Oh, you're a ghost hunter? Where are you going around here?" I'm like, well, I'm going to the Historical Society. Like, we're the only team that's allowed in there because I grew up in Shalersville. So, and like to like kind of give you my age, the Historical Society are people I graduated with now. So it's like,
so you're historical is what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like it. But she starts talking to me about how she thinks the store is haunted. I'm like, and it would have to be. I told her like for me, like coming from the outside, not knowing what you're going through. She's like asking me all these questions. Like, it would have to be land based because there's no way that this pole building Dollar General has already seen death and trauma, or like it's got to be something land based because this is all farmland, So it could be that, but I don't know. I never blow people off. I'll try to give them at least some kind of explanation why it either could or couldn't. And I give them both and let them choose whatever they want.
Well, talking about that, have you been to the Octagon House in Ohio?
I have heard it and I've read about it and I've talked to Tommy Gill about it a lot when we were at MadCon, but I have not been there yet.
Because we're going to be doing 2 nights there, but talking about the whole land and building and everything. The building was moved. That's why, do you think it sticks with the building or the land, or could you either or what do you think?
I mean, it could be both. And there's been situations where, I've been on investigation to like train terminals, which you're like, okay, yes, there's specific people here that haunt this place. But if you walk in with like a psychic that I trust, she's like picking up on all these people just passing through. But you got to understand that was the energy of the train station. People were coming and passing through. And when like you think like when we go like people still ride the train, but mostly we ride, if we're traveling far, we're going by airplane.
Yeah.
And you can see not the trauma, but the drama of seeing somebody you haven't seen forever, or, family coming together because somebody died and meeting at the airport. There's just so much emotion that I think a building can trap that emotion. I think if you take a building from point A that was haunted there or had death, it's not going to leave just because you moved it to point B.
Right.
I don't think that leaves that. But I also think we had one residential that I'd like to mention about the land-based stuff, there was definitely something going on in this house that we couldn't find. But this house had just like literally been built the year before. Brand spanking new, beautiful, almost mansion size house. And like new brick. I mean, it was like all brand new stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I had no idea like how this stuff could be going on. Like we were able to explain some of it. But then that's when that's where I tell people the history of the area comes in very important to this place. Mm-hmm. So we found out this is actually this land that he was part of was part of the Ohio Canal, like what they called the Old Plank Road, which was literally a road from southern Ohio, from the Ohio River all the way up to Lake Erie. And that this ran through that whole area. Right. And there were building, I mean, there was businesses, saloons. I mean, who knows what happened on this area? So our psychic was picking up a lot of stuff that just didn't seem like it belonged to them, like to the family or the house specifically. But before I dove in heavy into the history, she was picking up like some guy that died by a horse accident, and she was picking up Native American stuff, which was that whole area. Of course, you know, Ohio's just overwhelmed with Native American history, as is all pretty much America, you know, in certain areas, especially along the Cuyahoga River, leading up to, you know, Lake Erie. It's very well known for being Indian burial grounds all the way up. So, yeah, I mean, I think you can build a brand spanking new house in a very energetic or energized, paranormally spiritual energized area and have things happen in your house, because we don't know how these spirits or entities see things. We don't know how they perceive us. You know, it's like all of a sudden there's this house on their land and they're like, what the fuck are you doing on my land? Yeah. You know what I mean? Or they may not even know we're there. They may not even see the house. They could just be going on. That land is soaked in their energy, and that it could just be moving on like they would any other day. And not even know of our existence. Like most of the time we're not aware of theirs, but it could be, like I said, that's the thing. You can't tell anybody any like specific thing because it could be all these things. It's 100%. That's why I love it so much. Yeah. You know, you could try to figure it out, but then you get something else. You get another voice in the EVP that makes absolutely no sense. You know what I mean?
Man. Well, see, I think it reminds me like I don't know. I was born in 81. So like movies like The Goonies or something, you know, like reminds me of something like that. Like you're just going on an adventure, hanging out with your friends, exploring places, you know. Maybe you'll follow something supernatural or whatever, you know, like I don't know. It's the whole experience. It's not just one thing. It's like everything, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And like, you know, I could have chosen when I started having that, when we moved into that house as a kid, to be afraid and just like try to shut it off because it was something the church didn't believe in.
Yeah.
Or I could have accepted the fact that there was something going on I couldn't explain and try to figure it out myself, which is what I did, which started this obsession that has lasted since I was 12 years old.
It really is an obsession too.
It is, dude. And like people will go, you've only been investigating that long, but I've been researching almost my whole life.
Right.
I've been reading Hans Holzer's books. I mean, when I was 13, I'm reading these big, thick Hans Holzer books, or like Lord Auerbach, or like these guys who are, you know, well known in the field for their initial theories on things. You know, going back into the neo-spiritualistic movement and stuff like that. And it's like, you were reading what at 12 years old? I'm like, yeah, well, we didn't have Harry Potter. That didn't come in until when I was older. So
right. And that's the crazy thing too. Like, you know, just to add on to that, like that's why the paranormal field is so interesting, because it's so unorthodox to what like an everyday hobby would technically be. You know,
it really
is.
Like,
you know, I like sports. I like this or that. It's like, well, I like to go to locations to see if I can catch anything. They're like, wait, huh? You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people ask me all the time, like, why do you do it? Like, aren't you afraid to be afraid? I'm like, okay, I know you like roller coasters. I will not go on a roller coaster because I am deathly afraid of heights.
Right.
I get up to that top hill, I think I'm going to die because it's inevitable because I'm so high.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. That's your thing, and it's not mine. My thing is going and chasing dead people or talking.
Oh yeah, I can't do heights that much anymore. Like whenever we went to the Sean, what was that amusement park that we went to in Erie? The Waldemere. The little like tower ride where it, you know, shoots you up, shoots you right down.
Yeah.
I used to be so cool with that ride, but now it scares the shit out of me. I'm like, oh god, we're high. Ah,
as long as I could fit in it, I'll still ride it because I ride everything. But some of the stuff I don't fit in.
Thing. Yeah, there's been a couple rides like I will go on like roller coasters at like Disney World and stuff because they're fun and they're thrilling. But usually they're not like 90-foot hills that drop straight down like you see.
Well, Disney stuff's all pretty accommodating too compared to a lot of places.
It is, yeah, and like a fat dude could sit somewhat comfortably in a seat.
Well, that's what I always say. I always say if we go to like an amusement park or a restaurant or something, I'll be like, "Is it FPF? Yeah. Is it fat person friendly?"
I never heard of that. Fat person friendly.
Dude, check out YouTube. There's actually a couple people that do parks, and like they have like tests and like let you know if a fat person get on.
Well, I'm part of a like Disney plus size some Facebook group.
Okay,
stuff like that, yeah. Which I don't think I didn't really have any trouble. I don't think on anything at Disney when we were there. We were there in 2019, I think.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, that's funny.
It's about that long. I think it was about that long since we've been there. But
I've never been there.
I can't. Yeah, it's become an obsession with the family.
Yeah,
my wife loves planning those trips, and we love going out there.
It's just so expensive. You see their prices went up again.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, cool. Yeah.
How much are they?
Did you see what?
They got rid of their new CEO, or they got a new CEO too. The same guy that used to be there.
Yeah. They got rid of the new guy and brought back the old guy because I don't think he's going to be able to change the prices on anything.
No,
we'll see.
But that's the thing with Disney, like Walt Disney. He wanted to have a park that was affordable for everybody, and that's shit. It's like $120 or something per person. That's not affordable.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think for a full week, not even including like our hotel, we like for the four of us, we spent near $3,000 just in tickets.
Yeah, sure.
That's insane,
we did the jumper passes when we went, which I'm not really a fan of it. Like it was kind of stupid because I think one day we just did straight Magic Kingdom, and then we did use the park hopper once. I think it was for like. It was for Epcot and the Disney Studios, and then Animal Kingdom we did a full day. But the thing is, like when you do that park hopper stuff, you can't get all that in. Like we didn't have enough time to even like do everything.
We've always debated about getting the park hopper, but we were just like, we're doing Magic Kingdom this day and this day. We're doing this park this day. There's been times where we've gone down where we like just didn't go to a park.
Yeah.
Like the last time we didn't go to Hollywood Studios, and that killed me because that's my favorite park because that's where all the Star Wars stuff is.
Yeah. What is it?
That was before all the
Twilight Zone rides, the drop tower or whatever. That's there.
Yeah,
that really cool.
Screw. I won't do that because I know that goes high.
That
was so funny too. Funny story is like we're waiting like as a family in the line, and we got to the elevator car. We're about to get on, and my youngest like, no, I'm out. I can't do it. She got crazy. I'm like, I'll take her. Don't worry about this, honey. You guys have fun. She's like, well, do you want a ride pass to be able to get back on when they're done? I'm like, nope, I'm good. You guys are like, I'm the hero of the day. I'm going to take the kid and we're going to go down to get some snacks and, and like in my mind, I'm like, thank God.
I can't do spinning rides anymore, man. I get like nauseous. And
spinning rides, yeah. I mean, I'll go ride some of them, but it's I'm not a fan of them really anymore. Like Music Express,
I don't mind spinning rides, but when your kids think it's fun to like get that thing spinning before the ride even starts, then I'm not into it because they had that freaking cup.
The main thing
like crazy
I don't like about those type of things is like, usually they put the bigger guy on the outside, and I'm always the bigger guy. Yeah. So the other person's crushing me the whole ride, so I ain't falling for me.
Yep.
Remember the volcano ride at Kennywood, dude? That was my kryptonite. And the one that goes like this, and then it slowly goes. Oh nope. Even on an empty stomach, I can't do it. I've actually purposely not eat to go on that, and it doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, most of my mom's side of the family lives out your way, like around the Pittsburgh area, and like we used to go to Kennywood for like family reunions all the time. I grew up going to Kennywood, like that and Juggle Lake. We couldn't afford to go up to the lake to Cedar Point, Even back then, it was like $30 a person. It was like I could go to Juggle Lake for $15. Sorry.
My brother, he worked Kennywood, Juggle Lake, and Six Flags in New Jersey, so we used to go to all of them or whatever at one point or another.
I worked at SeaWorld for a summer.
Okay.
How was that?
In Aurora. It was fun. I mean, it was just like, I mean, it was a pain in the ass because I worked food service in like the kiddie area.
Mm-hmm.
So, these little kids would just run up and like, I should have known better just to ask them if they had money before I got their cotton candy made and everything.
Yeah.
We're like, I want this and I want this. I get everything ready. Like, oh, it's $5.50. Like, we have to pay for it. I'm like, get your parents. Just like stupid shit like that. But we had, I mean, it was fun. You worked with a lot of like people your own age, like high school to college that, ended up being friends with for summer. Super great place to work if you wanted a really cool place to take a date, because we got all kinds of free tickets.
Yeah.
So,
I know my brother said the parties were always good too.
Yeah, parties were good. We had extra hours we could spend after everybody went home every once in a while.
Nice.
So
there you go.
One of the things I always liked about Geauga Lake too is like they did Halloween, like before Kennywood did Halloween.
Yeah,
we used to do that German Fest too, and I remember like sliding into beer mugs like in National Lampoons and shit like that. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was my only experience working at Geauga Lake, because I got to be a scare actor one season for the Halloween. Their Halloween festival. Well, we just got to walk around and scare people in the park.
That's how me and Phil know each other, is working for Scare House in Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And we've been close ever since, too. I knew of him, obviously, like 7 years ago. And, I always shake his hand. And they're like, you know what? He's not so creepy. So I should probably, we've been close for like 2-3 years almost now. So,
I mean, that was like one of the funnest things I've ever done. I would have made a career out of that. That would be so much fun.
It is a fun job, but it wears you out, man. It wears you out.
For sure. My little brother was into it the last couple of years at a place down here called the Akron Schoolhouse, the Haunted Schoolhouse in the
Laboratory.
Yeah. And he was working there because they had changed owners a couple of years ago, and he got in with them. And
factory at Terre Bottom.
Yeah. So, I mean, they upped the ante, and that place was pretty freaking amazing after they took over. And he was there. He's a scare actor. He worked the lines. He worked in the scenes and stuff, and he loved it. I mean, he was literally driving during season. He lives way up in Chardon, Ohio, which is close to like Madison Seminary. Driving all the way up there down to like south of me in Akron, so like an hour drive just one way.
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 nights a week just to do that, and he was making like what, pennies?
Oh yeah,
loved it. It was so much.
I was in the same boat, because originally where Scare House was, it was in Etna, which wasn't too bad. But my buddy Mike, who I would take too, he lived up in Carrick. I'd have to drive up and get him. Then they moved out to Pittsburgh Mills, which is like another 20 minutes past Etna. So it was like an hour for me to get out there. Then you're on 28, which is like a really bad road. It's always has traffic, and it just got to be too much.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. And I miss the old building. I really do. I mean, it just had its charm because it was its own thing, Not to say that the one in Pittsburgh Mills isn't bad. It's just it's a mall, So it's like, hey, there's a haunted house in the mall. That's different, but it's just
we investigated a haunted house, like an attraction out in the Pittsburgh area. It was called the Hell House at the time.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still operating, but it was like,
you talking about Demon House?
Demon House, yes.
Yeah. They still do it. Yeah.
Do they still do it? Yeah. So I know I think they went under new ownership or something, or I don't know.
I don't know. They do paranormal still there too, because I actually during the Halloween season I talked to them, and they told me to like hit them back up after their season's done about going out.
I was more afraid of one of those animatronic things going off, like even though I knew the electric was off, but like walking through those rooms, like tiptoeing, making sure I wasn't stepping on any triggers, It was a pretty interesting night though. We got some interesting EVPs, and we got this light phenomenon that I cannot for the life of me. We tried debunking. I spent at least almost an hour and a half trying debunking this light. That was back when we used to run cameras.
Did they let you down in the basement?
I believe so. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Because back when the haunted house originally, I've been going there for years. Originally when the haunted house used to open, they used to let you go down in the basement, and there was like a room down there where they would leave somebody and then go back upstairs and leave the person down there. And I heard like the rumor was somebody actually got grabbed down there, I guess by something paranormal. So they wouldn't let anybody go down there anymore, at least in the haunted house,
Wow.
But that's why.
I don't know. I don't remember if we were. I think our group was a little bit too large, because we like our group is based out of Columbus, and like the group that I'm in is actually like a division of that, or chapter of that Columbus group.
Yeah.
So it was like when I got the thing set, and then we all met out there. There was like 12 of us, and it's just way too much for that house. But we were luckily they had like a nice little patio area, and they served refreshments and stuff. So we were trying to like break it up, and we ran our like command area out in the garage. So like only a few people were in the house at the same time, but we still got some interesting stuff that we couldn't explain. There's some areas that it was hard to get through because like the track, like you'd have to go to get from one room to the other. Just it wasn't fat people friendly. Like I had to squeeze pretty tight through a couple spots. Or like get down on my knees to try to get through. So,
oh man.
So you're saying you don't use cameras anymore?
We don't like in the manner of which we're used to, like where everybody sets up the DVR and you have like a whole set of cameras just posted everywhere. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. We go. I mean, I'll just be honest. Basically, go for the personal experiences now.
Yeah.
We don't care about. I mean, we like documenting like our evidence, but if we record, it's usually audio because for some reason that's just what we do. We like doing burst sessions everywhere, and then we take a break and everybody reviews at the same time. That way, it's fresh in our minds, and we know right away. I mean, we take notes and stuff, but we'll tag the audio instead of like writing it down.
Yeah.
Like if I hear something audibly, like a disembodied voice, I'll like tag possible disembodied voice. But just
now, do you have live recorders or no?
To set up all the equipment. I like to like grab what equipment I'm going to take with me and just go.
Yeah,
I'm too impatient to set up all that stuff. It would be different if I was filming for like a documentary or something like that. Like I understand that, but yeah.
Do you use live recorders at all or no?
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, my Bluetooth headphones went out for a second.
No, it's okay.
If they're still out, hold on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, no, they're back. Okay, that was weird. What were you asking me about recording?
I was saying, do you use live recorders at all?
We have one. We have one Zoom live recorder. That's usually on Heisenberg because he owns it. So like we just kind of set them down. I don't like to hold the recorder while I'm recording, only because I know I'm a fidget, and I know if you fidget with your recorder, you're going to get some weird shit on there.
Yeah,
it picks up everything.
That's Jen, by the way.
Oh,
hey Jen, how Yin's doing?
She's actually originally from Florida, so she don't say Yins.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Me and Mikey are the Yinsers in the group.
Yep,
I gotcha.
Because I apparently don't even sound like I'm born from Pittsburgh. That's the funny part. People are like, you're from Pittsburgh? You don't have a Pittsburgh accent. I don't know.
No, I can hear it on Sean. I don't hear it on you as much, and I should know. I mean, I got
yes.
I'm very deep. I have a lot of Yinzer blood in me, so
yeah.
Like I said, my mom's family.
So what football team do you cheer for?
Stillers.
Oh, nice. Even though they suck this year, but
I mean, what's my other option? Cleveland. And like, I won't root for Cincinnati, and I don't care who's playing Baltimore. They better be beating them because I cannot stand Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan all the way. I mean, my dad was born and grew up in New York, but his family didn't really do football. They were the baseball people.
Okay.
I never really got into baseball myself. I mean, the only time I ever watched baseball was like this year when the Guardians got into the playoffs. And I wouldn't even call myself a huge Guardians fan. It was a local team that was doing really well, and they're a new team.
Yeah.
It was the first year under the Guardians flag with a lot of new players that he was. I mean, the coach is amazing. He took those players and put together a winning team. But when it comes to like athletic or like sports that I follow, football has always been it. I mean, I played a little bit of football in high school. I couldn't continue because I had an eye operation that kept me out. And I was actually more fond of like more into band and music and stuff like that. I was, a band geek, but
what instrument did you play?
Trombone.
Oh, nice. I played trombone too.
That's awesome.
Nice. I knew I liked you.
My daughter did too. Like she's actually
That's awesome, man.
Her grandfather on her mom's side played, so she's like third generation.
Yeah. I think a lot of my wanting to rejuvenate myself, it started with my daughter entering high school and playing with the marching band this year. it brought back so many memories and like so many feelings of
actually have a show band shirt on right now.
It's awesome, man. I love it. It just brought back a lot of feelings and like the way I felt when I was doing that. And I'm like, man, I want to get back to that point where I can march around with not that I'm going to, but you know,
well, do it. Jen said right there.
A paranormal trombone. That'd be awesome, man.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll be the singer. I took chorus lessons in grade school. I can be the singer. So
nice. Again, I'm a singer too. Actually, originally went to college for vocal performance.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow. Yep. What made you want to do that? Just
I just was really into music, music performance when I was younger, and you know, not that I'm not now. I mean, if I could find a local band or something to jam with, I would. But
yeah, what's
just.
What do you like to listen to music wise?
Dude, everything. I mean, like my Pandora playlist is like, you could tell I have it's like music ADD. It's like, and it's like everything. It's like classic rock. Like I could be playing like Led Zeppelin one time, and then Luciano Pavarotti comes up next, and then like Louis Armstrong, and then Metallica. It's just like all over.
Nice. There we go. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I'm a lover of all music. Country is like. Like I like old school country. Like I like old Willie Nelson. I like Johnny Cash. I like the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this newer stuff might as well just be pop music. Like pop right now is kind of like nah with me. I feel like an old man because I listen to what my kids listen to, and it's like all these guys that are only popular because they have good looks and they can like take electronics and make themselves sound good. But
right.
That's just me.
Well, that's like I mean, I've always grown up on rap. Like I think I told you before, I used to rap.
Yeah.
But a lot of the rappers these days, it's all like mumbling and like the lyrics are terrible and like I don't understand like how my kids listen to that shit.
That's another thing. That's like I like old school. Like I mean, again, my playlist like Pavarotti and then Snoop Dogg and Eminem will come on next, and then Metallica. You know, it's just like all over the place.
And it's actually funny how you mentioned that because Sean took me to my first ever like rap concert, Tech Nine. Yeah. Oh, one of the best shows I've ever been to, hands down.
Loved nice.
Oh, it's great. Oh, bluegrass.
Bluegrass.
I do like. I like blue. I love bluegrass. I used to. Part of our band thing was like we had to do all these different kind of fundraisers, and a local town hall would have this bluegrass festival every month, and like we would just serve food, like snacks and stuff, and we got paid a certain amount. And I fell in love. Like I thought bluegrass would be stupid, but I actually fell in love with that music. It's like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
It's a good movie too.
You know, just like all the old school, like kind of twangy, like Appalachian music. You know,
I
love it. And I think it, you know, going back, when you take that music back farther and farther, it takes you back into like the Civil War and like even farther, like Irish and English music, and you know the fiddle and everything like that.
See, I like the Blues Brothers movies. I thought that had good music in them too.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, definitely.
And the crazy thing is too, like, you know, I also equate music to movies. Like I love horror films, but there's so much out there that like, even if you don't like a certain genre, you're going to find so many gems. You're like, wow, I normally would not like a movie like this, but like, this is really, really good. You know?
Like every couple weeks I hear something from a band I never heard of before, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Add that to my playlist, you know.
Well, have you ever heard of the Dead South? Like Jen was talking about the Dead South. Is
I do. I love the Dead South.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like the Civil Wars for a while, but they're kind of more poppy than I think they really are country. But I originally liked their sound, but then I started getting into them. Like every song sounds the same, or it's just like so over the top, like dramatic and depressing. I can't deal with it. So like, I kind of took them off my playlist. But I love that kind of Southern sound. Like some of my favorite rock bands are Southern fried rock. Like Black Crowes are like one of my all-time favorite rock bands. Right. And they're basically like the new age Led Zeppelin sound. You know, just like, and obviously I've mentioned Zeppelin a couple times. I'm a huge fan of Zeppelin.
Nice. I like Zeppelin. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can't like rock and roll and not like Zeppelin. You know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like I was actually at the Starlake Amphitheater in Burgettstown, and I saw Styx and REO Speedwagon, and I was like, this shit is amazing. Like, I was there prior seeing Rob Zombie and the Mudvayne show, and this show blew it right out of those guys' water. I'm like, yeah, sorry, dudes. It's weird. I love it, guys.
Like, you can like the music, but they're like when you spend money on concerts, I want to be entertained.
Yes.
You know 100%. What I mean? I don't want to like. I used to be into the heavy metal shit. I was at Woodstock when it went down, and still my all-time favorite concert was just me and my mom went to see Billy Joel in Cleveland.
Yeah,
and we saw Elton John, Billy Joel and Elton John together. And I swear to God, that was one of my fondest memories of hanging out with my mom.
Oh, heck yeah.
We were up dancing and singing, and they're down there jamming. I'm like, this is freaking amazing, man.
And Katie asked, what kind of music do I like? Well, I am a diehard metalhead, but I do like everything. So Metallica, Slayer, Slipknot, Morbid Angel.
Yep.
Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow. You know what? He's not bad. He's not bad. Hey, Barry Manilow. He's
at the Copa. They probably do have a metal version of that out there.
I'm sure they do.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, this depends. Like, got into metal at the age of 13, and that was 23 years ago. So I'm 36 now, and I was one of those elitists. So it was like, oh, if it's not heavy, it's not good. But I'm older now. Like I can appreciate pretty much everything for the most part. But it just depends,
and just like it really depends on what I'm feeling like, and honestly, a lot of times it's seasonal. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Like the metal and the rock and roll comes out when it's summer and I got the windows down and I'm driving around the country just cruising. Like that's when I play the loud shit,
Oh, fuck
Here goes the old man playing his music too loud. And then like in the like right now I'm kind of cruising to it's like oldies, and I listen to a lot of just orchestral music. Because it's just what moves me during the fall, like seeing the colors and brings out a lot of stuff. It's a lot of it's emotional based too. I mean, it just depends.
Yeah. I love falling asleep to jazz music whenever I'm going to bed. So, hey.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And back in my younger days, when I was more of a metalhead, I'd turn on like some Acid Bath or something and grooved into that till I fell asleep. Not even joking. Like Marilyn Manson, Acid Bath, fucking Coal
Chamber, Acid Bath. I haven't heard those names in forever, man.
Yeah, that's how far back I go. Snot was one of my favorites.
I do know Snot. Wow.
What is it? Green Jelly or whatever? Or
Green Jelly.
Yeah.
Isn't that the band that Maynard James Keenan was in before he decided to create Tool? I could have sworn
was that Three Little Pigs or whatever. That's the only song I really remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's been in so many bands. I can't keep track of all his projects.
Oh, yeah. He was, I think it was in a band called Pucifer. And I have no idea what they sound like, but I'm a big Tool fan. So my dad likes them too, funny enough.
Yeah. I like Perfect Circle too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're good. It's that's actually funny how you mention that, because the one song Judith is a very like anti-God song, and my family were they're very heavy into like the faith and shit, but they like heavy music, and my dad heard that song called A Perfect Circle and Judith, and he loves it. I'm like, Dad, you do realize what he's singing about, right? It's like, yeah, I know what he's like, but the song's so freaking good.
You see, Dad, take the Striper cassette tape, just go pop it in and you'll be all right.
Oh, Striper. Oh, God.
That's what I had to listen to if I wanted to listen to heavy metal when I was young.
Yeah.
Before my parents allowed me to start like listening to secular music.
Oh, yeah.
And Jen's mom loves, what is it, Beautiful People, I think. I'm sure she'll comment on it. And she's real religious. But
that's
Marilyn Manson song.
Yes. Love it so much. Love it.
My mom is a huge fan of Rob Zombie, not because of his music, because she thought he was so sexy.
Really? Oh,
he looks so dirty looking.
That's the thing, like, and especially the picture she saw of him. Like I had a poster, like a little poster just up on my refrigerator. She was visiting my apartment. It's like one of the little fold-out things that I got from I can't remember, Hillbilly Deluxe.
Yeah.
And he had like the zombie, like his makeup on and shit. Like it wasn't just his face, it was like all made up. She's like, oh my gosh, she's so sexy. I'm like, whoa, Mom.
Jen's over here saying zombies hot, but she thinks Post Malone's hot too, and he looks like he's homeless. So.
Oh my God.
That dude could stop tripping on holes. Maybe he'd have something.
Sean, you just reminded me. Somebody posted a meme of Post Malone, and it said on the top, "This is what the 1% of germs looks like that you can't kill."
Well, you got to go on Twitter. They had a thing where it was like Post Malone looks like, and it had all this big thread about everything. One of the ones that like stood out to me that I still say to this day is like, I'll be like, oh, I just took a Post Malone, and that means you took a shit after you got out of the shower.
That's hilarious. Oh my
god. That's so right too. Oh, that's so right.
He's like one of those people that, like one of those musicians that my kids listen to, or I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's into the paranormal a lot too. He does a lot of paranormal stuff.
That's cool. Then I like him. He's good. I'll listen to his music.
Apparently he's a big metalhead too, believe it or not. Yeah. Like I think he's a big metalhead, and this is so off topic, but Ed Sheeran, I don't know if you guys ever listened to his music, but he's actually a big metalhead as well. He was supposed to make like a metal album.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I saw him like years ago whenever me and my ex-girlfriend were still together, and one of the best shows I've ever been to. He did everything himself, man.
Yeah.
You know, he got this little, Harry Potter like other character lookalike. I'm like,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, talking about music and that, do you use music on any of your investigations to try to like stir some shit up, I guess?
There's been a couple times. One time in particular, there was a place called the Bell Nursing Home down in New Kimballton, Ohio. Okay. Which I don't know if they're doing, because it's another one of those places that was falling apart. The owner wasn't really taking care of it, but she was still like holding on to it and asking way too much money for it. Mm-hmm. I think it went into disclosure, but I'm not sure. Or not disclosure, whatever it's called. Foreclosure. Sorry. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it was an amazing building. It was super active. And I was there. I wasn't there with my group. I was actually there with Paranormal Expeditions. They're one of those ghost hunting tour groups that does public ghost hunts. Mm-hmm. It was run by Daniel Klaus and Amy Perry Brock, and we did this thing. Like, we knew like a lot of the women there were like from the 50s-ish areas. So we started playing a lot of 50s like sock hop music type stuff. We're like, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a community dance. We're gonna just have fun. And we're gonna start playing some music. Just So she started playing some music, and we set up like a bunch of trigger objects, just basically EMF detectors everywhere, down this long hallway. And it was real quiet. And we're like, okay. She's like, okay. So like a couple of us just start kind of like bopping and dancing to the music. Those things just blew up. I swear to God. And it was like all over the place, just boom, 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 all over. Like, can you dance down here? And like you'd hear boom, 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 like all the way down towards you. And like, okay, no, we got to dance that way. And it followed like everywhere we were telling it to dance. And it was like, it's an amazing tool music is. And there's a lot of people playing with using sound and music and experimenting with that in the field. And I like that direction. I love that direction. I think it's just something, like I said earlier, music is something that you can emotionally respond to. You can have a specific song or a specific style that just triggers something in you that, you want to respond to.
Now, saying that you have like a singing background, have you ever tried singing to spirits?
That's the funny thing. I haven't done that, and I should. So many opportunities. There's a big theater that we investigated in Southern Ohio. I can't remember the name of it. Which was pretty bad. I think it's the City Opera House or something like that. We investigated there, and that was one of my ideas. And again, I forgot. Like, how do you forget that idea of all ideas? You're in a goddamn theater, an opera house. And you don't sing opera. Stupid idiot. But you just don't know. You just, wherever the night takes you, you kind of forget about certain things. But next time, I'm friends with the owner of the Penn Stage Theater here, like right now.
Hold on one second, Gooz. Phil, can you hear him all right? Because I can't hear him that well.
I can. Oh yeah, I can hear it now. It's like it's a little muffled.
It kept like breaking up or something. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm like
you're good now.
Getting through.
That was good. Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah. But no, it's something I've always wanted to try. We've used actual music, but I haven't sung, and I need to do that because you never know how that will translate. I'd like to see how that. Next time I'm in a theater, I'm going to do it.
Do it, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's because I've you should listen to Sean Rapp. He's really good. He's awesome.
I actually came out of retirement because this one movie that I helped, I was a paranormal consultant on. They're just wrapping up on it, and my friend of mine asked me to be on the soundtrack, so I just recorded a new song. I came out of retirement, rapped in probably like 10 years, but I went and did a song for him. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's good. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I can't rap to save my life. So if you ever want me to freestyle, it's going to be.
He sings a mean voodoo though by Godsmack.
I did do that.
Nice. We went to karaoke and he did that.
Another member of our team says that it was a really rough
video. It was good though.
I liked it. Yeah. I was like, no, I pretty much.
Me and Jen did Regulate, and then we all did Just a Friend by Biz Markie. It was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, if we're ever like we need to investigate a jazz hall or something, because that's kind of more my wheelhouse with what I like to do.
Yeah,
like I have the background and the training to do opera, but if I'm going to do something like I really want to get into, it's like old school, like swing music, jazz music, that type of thing. That's what I'm into. As far as like vocally performing, so
I'll play backup trombone.
There you go, man. That'd be cool. We could bust out the trombones.
That would be cool.
I could sing a couple licks and we can see what happens, man. That'd be awesome.
It'll be our jazz trombone rap group.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that actually. I love when multiple genres like to fuse each other together, man. I love that. Like Sean, he introduced me to this rap artist, and they were pretty hardcore. And all of a sudden, like this double bass and like blast beats kicked in. I'm like, wait a second here, holy shit!
Yeah.
Well, good music's good music. It don't matter the genre. That's like we've seen the Who before. HU, the Mongolian metal band.
Yeah.
And you can't understand a word they're saying, but it's still really good music. They're awesome show.
Oh yeah. The only thing that sucked about the place that we saw them at was because it was all like, auditorium seating. So you're kind of like squished in, and
I got you. Yeah.
Had no chance to move around. Cause I like to see mosh pits. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. If I'm going to go to a metal show, something like that, I want to see people get thrown around, and there was none of that because I couldn't. I'm like, really guys? Really? Tear the damn seats off.
It's so funny because my favorite place to go see a live band is usually like at the Cleveland Rib Burn Off downtown. Like I know I know obviously the food's good, right? But it's just like general admission, like there's no seating whatsoever. But it's so close to where the food is and like the picnic tables are. You can sit there, eat your food, and the band's like right there.
Oh yeah.
And we saw some great bands there. I can't remember their names because they're mostly my wife's, but I saw Big Bad Voodoo Daddy there, the Cherry Poppin' Dad. What are they called? Cherry Poppin' something. I don't remember, but Big Bad Voodoo Daddy I absolutely love. They're like, I'll go wherever they are. I've seen. I used to go to Kent because the Brian Seitzer Orchestra was there. I saw them at like in a club. Like that was really cool. Seeing them in a small venue.
Yeah. It's funny because I think my love for music is slightly higher than. I love the paranormal, but I think with me, music is so accessible. Like I still buy CDs, and I have like almost 500. Yeah. It's like sitting like right over here. I can easily go grab one, crank it. It's such. Right. It's if I wasn't like doing this type of stuff and I actually had talent, I'd try to front a band, but I'm lazy.
It's like I do that all the time. I'm like I look at like through like see who's doing like local theater, like Broadway type stuff and stuff, and I just never follow through with it because then it's like more time.
Yep.
I'm absolutely fine just like sitting at home and jamming to some music and singing to that, and it's coming out one way or the other. So.
Oh man, pulling like a risky business and singing into the microphone. You're coming out with your underwear on,
Like, Dad, are you gonna get out of the shower? Can you stop singing? I'm there with my soap, like.
Have you done that?
Oh yeah, I used to sing, like. My wife actually said when we first started dating that was probably one of the more attractive things that I did. She's like, I could just sit there and listen to you take a shower for hours. I'm like, okay.
There we go. Hey, if it makes the missus happy, you're good.
But honestly, that's like the only time she ever like would hear me sing is like in the shower. So
yeah. Oh man.
I sang to her at our wedding. So that was
Oh wow, what did you end up singing?
She's Got Away by Billy Joel.
Look at you, man.
Yep.
That's awesome. I don't think I've ever heard that song before.
Oh yeah, it's one of his best hits, but
yeah,
she was totally thrown off about it. Like I told the DJ about it. I emailed him like sometime during the reception before, like right before we do the garter toss and all that shit. I'm like, I'm gonna slip you the CD. It's just a freaking cheap karaoke DJ CD that has the song on it, and I just want you to play it. He's like, well, I can give me the microphone. I was like, okay. So I did, and I started singing to her. She starts crying. She's sitting down because she's ready for me to take the garter off and throw it. And the music starts. She's like, what? And then her bridesmaid brings up a box of tissues and just goes like this to her, like this.
Oh my god!
Now, did you ever sing in public before? Or?
Oh yeah. Okay. I used to sing all like in high school, and I sang in all like the Pops concerts. I was in choir all the time.
Okay.
I did a lot of like solo and ensemble competitions with high school. Okay. I did a semester in college, and then
solo more is what I meant, not as a group. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I used to do karaoke all the time. Like I tried being a band a couple times, but I always got into a band where I don't know, it's just garage bands that were really wanting to play out. You know what I mean? Like the whole point for me is like, if I'm gonna put effort into this, I want to like do something with it. I just like I said, I could stay at home and sing in my shower for what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? Save the gas money.
That's crazy. That's so cool though, man.
But yeah, I mean, I was actually, there was a point after high school where people were hiring me to sing at their weddings.
Oh,
wow.
So, yeah.
Like Adam Sandler out here.
Right.
That's a good movie, Wedding Singer.
Yeah, the full mullet and everything too.
Yeah. It would be funny to like, show up like that with just one time, like as a prank.
Oh man,
like somebody you know really close.
So if Phil ever gets married, that's what you gotta do, guys.
I'm in, man. You know where to find me.
Damn. And it's funny, like, did you actually know that you actually had a good singing voice, or was this one of those things where you just tried it out? You're like, wow, I actually sound really good, kind of thing.
I attribute all that to both of my parents because they sing a lot.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up, they sang at church. They were both in like choir in high school. My dad has an amazing voice. You know, I just grew up with music. They were constantly singing. You know, and there was a period of time when I was a young teenager where we were like on long trips and they're up there doing their Griswold family thing in the front seat, singing like, and chorus with each other and like just, but it's soaked in, and I don't know, it just came naturally. It's not something I ever had to really work on. I guess like the opera part was probably the only thing I really had to train on, like, pronunciation and learning how to sing different languages, because I had to sing German, French, Italian. I had to learn all that shit. So
yeah, it's awesome. It's it's funny how we've been talking about karaoke and shit. I was actually at Bob's Garage, which is probably about 20 minutes away from my house, and it's a smaller bar, and they always have it decorated with like Christmas lights and you name it. And my friends were wanting me to sing a song there, and I was already, I had a few drinks. I wasn't bad or anything, and I was like, okay, well, yeah. Not that
the
I
drinks
know.
help, man. It loosens up your throat. Yep. You're like,
and my go-to song is Depeche Mode's "Enjoy the Silence." I love that tune so much because there's just something about how he sings. It's a very
sing it now, Phil.
Oh no,
do it.
I'm not even sure what the song is.
I sang it at didn't I sing it at Sleepy Hollow? I kind of swore
I think
did.
you only did.
Oh no, I did not. Yeah, you're right.
I need to go to a paranormal convention where there at some point during the day or night there's karaoke party.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I did. It wasn't my best performance a couple of nights ago. Even my buddy Don is like, 75. I'd give you a 75%. I'm like, that's good enough, because even if you have a good night of singing, the next night you're like, I just wasn't feeling it. I just didn't have the energy in me to do something good. But that's just how it is. I mean, we all change, and
Gooz, are you doing Parapsychon again?
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We already paid for a spot and everything.
We're paid too, so we could definitely set that up for karaoke night while we're out there.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man.
For sure.
It'd be totally cool. I keep trying to talk to Tim Miley to do that at Potographs because that's like the perfect. I never had like so much fun with other people that were there. Just like we.
It's because you didn't hang out with us.
Oh yeah, we didn't. That's another thing. It's like we didn't have time, so we got to like make sure we make plans to have time. Like, one hard thing about Parapsychon too is like I was driving to and from like both days. I didn't stay down there anywhere. So like I drove down there in the morning, did the Paracon, and then went back home because I only live like 45 minutes away, which seems like a lot, and it felt like a lot after the end of the weekend. I should have just stayed down there.
Well, that's crazy because Donnie from Hillview, that's in Newcastle.
Yeah,
he drove home both nights and then went back up. Like that's a little.
Oh yeah, screw that. That's a little too much. Yeah, I don't think I could have done that. But I mean, that was what I did was pushing it. I live just north of Akron, which is about 40-ish minutes away. But I'm glad I didn't. I heard a lot of horror stories from the original hotel they were putting up a lot of the special guests at. They ended up having to move them to a different hotel. But
Jesus,
yeah, I don't remember what our motel was like. I don't remember if we've been at some bad ones, but I don't remember which one that one was.
The one that we were actually at in Sleepy Hollow, that was a very not the greatest hotel. The Armani.
Oh yeah,
Suites,
yeah. We didn't stay at the one that they had. We stayed at a separate one, but yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, Pottergrass was pretty good because like literally the convention room was like down the hall from my room, so like I was on the same floor. Even it was nice. It was an older hotel. It was like the Lakeside Resort in Lake Houghton. So it's like it's like a very old school hotel. And it wasn't very modern. Like you could tell they were keeping it patched up and like keeping it. They kept it clean. It was nice, and the staff was amazing. But definitely an older place. And it was kind of a joke because it sits right on Lake Houghton. When we got there were a bunch of ice fishing shanties out there. And I don't know if you know the story. Last year, there was a mayor out here locally, like in the next town over from me in Hudson, Ohio. There's a new mayor that had just been elected that got a lot of flack because there's a little lake in Hudson that a couple guys set up ice shanties. He got on this like lunatic rave about how we have to get rid of the ice shanties because that's where prostitution happens. Like, and this video went viral and like everybody knew about it. And like even people like knew where I lived, like and how close I lived to it. Like Tim took me out back. He's like, "Look, dude, it's like you feel like you're at home. All these prostitutes out here." Like, holy crap, dude! That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I mean, luckily I don't have too many horror stories because honestly, we've never really investigated far enough where we would have to spend the night, and we usually carpool.
Yeah.
So we just try to go and then. We take turns driving back, but usually Heisenberg is just like all the way there and the whole way back. So,
yeah. I mean, whenever Sean and I, we went to Indiana, 7-hour drive, and it was my first ever drive that long,
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. A few stops.
We actually stopped at a haunted house that night too, like a haunted attraction before we went.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, we have to. And we were actually like driving on the main road, and we're like, where the hell is this place at? It was like a mile up the road, and there was like nothing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you turn the corner, disappeared right out of nowhere.
Well, the motel we stayed at was right across from Billy Creek Village.
Yeah.
So we went over there and just did some like daytime, photos and videos and stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get out that way. I haven't been out to any of the Indiana spots that have been coming up, so I need to get out to the sanatorium. I need to get out to Billy Creek.
Mm-hmm. Need to go to Monroe.
Yeah. We actually had that scheduled, and then COVID hit like the week after, and they started shutting everything down, so we never rescheduled. That's when we
Monroe is probably one of the most active places I think I've ever been to. We only went one night. We're supposed to go 2 nights this year.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm a big believer in doing 2 nights. We just never have the time. Mm-hmm. Like one of us or 2 of us always have to be back by like for something the next morning. It's just like So
what are you talking about, Katie?
I was gonna say
we're coming to see you December 3rd. You're not in Indiana either.
That's so funny.
But hey, I want to thank you guys for having me on. I do have to get off here. I apologize for cutting off.
That's okay, man.
Early, but
actually, I was going to play one more thing for you because I wanted to promote your show there.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. We'll play your little promo video here.
Do it. That's awesome.
So yeah, Thursday 8 to 10. Make sure you check out Gooz's show for sure.
Yeah, thank you. We're not obviously on this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, so we'll be celebrating with our families. But keep an eye out. It's like this format. We just sit back and we have fun. We come answer questions, come up. Every once in a while, we'll have a special guest. We had you guys on. Love to have you guys back on
for sure.
Oh yeah, man, definitely.
We gotta set that up soon, so we'll do that. But holiday season's going to be kind of sparse. I mean, we're not going to be on next Thursday. We'll try to get on a couple times before Christmas. But other than that, we'll be at Parapsychon coming up in May at Mansfield Prison. Oh, it's OSR now. I'm sorry. Us old schoolers still call it Mansfield. But we'll be there. We got autographs for pooches. Actually, that's in April, I think, or it might be March. I'll have to just follow us, the Cryptic Paranormal Show. We'll let you know what's going on, and probably MadCon next year. So, and then whatever else comes up. Yes, Katie, I know I need to come out, and actually, we want to do a live investigation from there. So we'll talk to you about that. I talked to Marcus a little bit about that, so we want to do that more next year. Like do a lot of like the shows live from location. So that'll be fun.
We were just out there a few weeks ago. We did a live podcast from there.
Yeah, as long as he's had it, I still haven't been out there, and this place is freaking amazing. Greenville Manor. You guys got to check it out if you haven't. But possible location for Ghosting with the Gooz version 2.0.
Yeah, for sure.
Ghosting with the Ghosting with the Gooz.
Other than that, the only thing I have to plug, which I have no idea when it's going to be finished or started for that matter, but I'm working on a book, Haunted Portage County, for the Haunted Press. So
that's cool.
I'm actually talking to a guy who just out of the nowhere, he lives down in Tennessee, has this huge history book about Portage County that he's just going to send me. So I'm just like, holy shit, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
So I'm very particular about how I do my research. I want to make sure I have the history right on everything. And I've already corrected one of the historical societies on a fact that they got wrong. So,
I wonder how they felt whenever you did that.
Actually, it's the historical society that I'm a member at that we do the ghost hunts at. They were actually very thankful.
Oh, good.
And they changed it in all their records. So it ended up well, which a lot of people who work with historical societies outside the society that do research don't have that kind of interaction with their society. It's usually kind of like that, but this worked out, so that was good. That's awesome, but that's coming up hopefully early, probably he's looking at release would be October of 2024 because they like to release them out and spooky season. So
hell yeah, man, loving it, brother.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for coming on.
The only reason I got to go is I got to go pick up my daughter from jazz band. Got to get there early enough and try to get a couple of licks in on the trombone.
Nice.
You have to have it on recording or it didn't happen.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, happy Thanksgiving. Right, thanks for coming on.
You too.
It was awesome seeing it, brother.
All right,
man. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can find us here. And here. And here. Don't forget, everybody needs a little bump in the night.